So World War I or the Great War or the war to end all wars, whatever, it's a big conflict that lasted from 1914 to 1918. Why it started? Well, one beautiful day, one Austrian guy went to Sarajevo with an open-top car and got 360 no-scoped by this Serbian guy. That made Austria-Hungary very pissed, so they sent an ultimatum to Serbia, which Serbia respectfully declined. So Austro-Hungary declared war on Serbia, but Serbia was friends with Russia, which declared war on Austro-Hungary. Austro-Hungary was friends with Germany, which declared war on Russia, but Russia was a friend of France, which declared war on Germany. Germany knew that Russia was too big to organize itself for war too fast, so they had a plan to conquer France at lightning speed, then move all of their forces and take out Russia. But France had a lot of defenses on its border with Germany, so the Germans had to go around them through Belgium, which pissed the UK because Germany attacked a neutral nation, so they joined war alongside their colonies, who quickly took German colonies in Africa and Oceania and started a naval blockade. The German advance through Belgium was solid but still not fast enough because Russia was ready for war a bit earlier than expected. The Russians started pushing Austria-Hungary, so the Germans needed to send some troops back to the east to save Austria-Hungary's ass. Austro-Hungary even sucked against Serbia and Montenegro, who also joined the war. The Germans pushed and came 70 kilometers near Paris, where Allies were trying to flank them, so they needed to fall back. This was the start of a long trench warfare campaign that lasted till the end of the war. Trench warfare is basically two sides digging large trenches around the whole front line and constantly bombarding each other until one side runs out of supplies or goes crazy. If one side wins the battle, they gain like 20 meters of land, which is basically nothing. Italy was in an alliance with Germany and Austria-Hungary, but after some tensions and the UK offering them southern Tyrol, Istria, and a big part of Dalmatia, they joined allies and opened a new front with Austria-Hungary. The new friend of the Central Powers was the Ottoman Empire, which wanted to take some land from Russia and the UK. They opened the front with Russia and froze to death, then tried to take the Suez, but that failed too, so they were almost as stupid as Austria-Hungary. Bulgaria also joined the Central Powers, and they were promised all the land they lost in the previous Balkan Wars, so together with Austria-Hungary, they attacked Serbia and Montenegro and conquered them. Coming back to the Western Front, the British started to use their first tanks ever, and the Germans started to use mass chemical attacks. On the Eastern Front, the Russians were beginning to be pushed hard into their territory, seeing that Romania made a smart move by joining the Allies and got stomped. In the Balkans, Greece joined the Allies and started pushing the Central Powers back. Russia also started advancing into Ottoman territory, and so did the British, who lent in Iraq to take that sweet oil. After a long war, all nations became exhausted, but especially Russia, whose government was overthrown in a communist revolution led by this fancy gentleman named Vladimir Lenin, who took Russia out of the war and replaced the bad government with even worse one. This sounds great for Central Powers, but there was a big problem with the USA joining the Allies, so the Germans sent a message to Mexico to ask them to attack the USA. But it was intercepted by the British, who showed it to the Americans, who were like, "These German guys are assholes. Let's go to war." After the Germans heard about that, they started a giant offensive on the Western Front, which failed miserably. Central Powers are being pushed at all fronts, and war has consumed all of their supplies, and that was it. Bulgaria capitulated first, then the Ottomans and Austria-Hungary collapsed, and finally Germany capitulated. Germany was blamed for the war, and they were forced to pay the war bill, reduce its military to 100,000, and lose 13% of their territory. New nations appeared in Europe, and that's about it.